Driven people become more driven when they have adversity. They become more driven when they have success. They want more. They know exactly where they want to go, exactly how they're going to get there, exactly who they want to go on that journey with, other driven people. They know what they need to do each and every day to achieve what they want to achieve. We built a room full of driven guys. That's why you're here.
It's week number 8 of this NFL season, and welcome to the Jason Garrett Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett. The bye week comes for the Cowboys after 7 weeks of this season, a 4-3 record. And Jason, really, when you look at it, you've played basically a college season. I mean, you can include the preseason games. People ask you all the time, does the bye week come at a good time, whatever? It comes anytime is a good time, but when you kind of split this season up down the middle right there, it probably does come at a good time for you.
Yeah, no question about it. And the other piece of the bye week evaluation is how healthy is your team. And we had a number of guys who battled back to play in this game against Philadelphia, and they did a really good job for us. And it's probably good for them to get a little time this week, get refreshed, and ready to go for our game against the Giants in about 10 days.
Yep, it's a week from Monday, next game against the New York Giants. But let's go back to that game last Sunday night against the Eagles. It was so huge that your team did answer the bell. What was it that impressed you the most about what they did in that game?
You know, a huge emphasis for us as a coaching staff was the importance of starting fast in the game. And a lot of people talk about the emotion of starting fast, and that's a big part of it. But a bigger part is the execution. And you have to execute in all 3 phases of your team at the outset of the game. And I thought we did a really good job of that. Jalen Smith makes the big hit on their 5th offensive play, knocks the ball out. Malik Collins recovers it. And then we do a really good job offensively, converting a couple 3rd downs and scoring a touchdown. And then D-Law gets the one on the next series, and Antoine Woods recovers that. And we do a really good job. 2 plays later, we knock it in. So not only are we getting the takeaways, but we're cashing them in for 2 touchdowns and 14 points. But then you still look up, and you're not even halfway through the first quarter. There's a lot of football to be played, and I thought we did a good job just buckling down and playing in all 3 phases, play after play, for 60 minutes. It was a really good performance.
You know, Zeke Elliott, I thought, set a good tone as well. Not only the way he ran the ball, but pass protection. He had great, start of the second half, there was a great block on the edge. That's just something about Zeke. He sets a physical tone for this team in so many ways.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about being physical, it starts up front. You have to win the line of scrimmage. And I thought our offensive lineman did an outstanding job against a physical front. I thought our defensive lineman did an outstanding job against a physical offensive front. And so I thought we won the line of scrimmage. But it's more than just those guys. It's more than the big guys. It's the tight ends, it's the receivers. In our case, it's the runner. You know, our runner is physical. And if you go back and watch the tape, there were a lot of dirty runs in that game. You know, he gets hit at 2 or 3 yards down the field. He makes 6 or 7. He runs over a couple guys. He's always moving north and south. And, you know, over time, that can really take its toll on a defense. You start to break their will a little bit with the physicalness up front. And also, every time they got to tackle that guy, he's physical and falling forward. It takes its toll and really can wear them down over the course of a ball game.
Your quarterback is playing at a very high level. In fact, you look at the quarterback rating in the NFL, and Dak Prescott is #1 on the list. One of the biggest things when you look statistically last year compared to this year is yards per attempt. He's throwing the ball at a 70% completion rate. His yards per attempt is 8.9, which is 1.5 yards ahead of what he was last year. There's only 2 players in NFL history who have had a yards per attempt greater than that and completed 70% of their passes, and that would be Slingin' Sammy Baugh in 1945 and Joe Montana in 1989. That's how high a rate that he's playing at.
Yeah, he's off to a really good start. There's no question about that. You know, I think the thing that's most impressive about him is how decisively he's playing. He's playing with great conviction. That's something we want all our players to do. Particularly important at that position. And when he has opportunities to make plays down the field, he's taking advantage of them. If not, he's checking it down, as you can tell by that high completion percentage rate. But, you know, it always goes back for us with Dak is his leadership, his command, you know, how he guides this football team, his mental and physical toughness. Great example to his teammates. So certainly off to a good start statistically, but even better as a leader. He's had a really positive impact on our team.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of the Jason Garrett Show. Up next, it's David Moore of the Dallas Morning News.
For us, I think we do a tremendous job of sticking together and being a close-knit group no matter what the situation is. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but if you ask anybody in here, nobody's going to point fingers at anybody else. We're going to continually support their brothers, and I think that's special about this group.
The Jason Garrett Show is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. The University of North Texas, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by the Dallas Morning News. Nobody does sports like Sports Day. Your home for complete Dallas Cowboys coverage.
You know, big win for us going into the bye week. I think a big confidence boost for our locker room. And, you know, but I think we're very aware that that's just one game and we still have a long way to go. It's still a long season and we want to continue to grow off that win. But definitely, you know, a big moment for our football team on Sunday night.
Welcome back to the Jason Garrett Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones now joined by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, SportsDayDFW.com. And David, the lead story last week, the win against the Eagles. The Cowboys played a game with a lead in the first half.
Yeah, to show you how rare that's been, we focused on the fact they had been outscored 47-9 in the first half of their three-game losing streak. But you want to take it a little farther. When they jumped ahead 7-0, that was the first time they had led in a game since they led New Orleans 10-9 in the third quarter to start the losing streak. And that 7-point lead was the largest they had going back to week 3 against Miami. So, you know, Zach Martin, some others spoke about it last week about how we're a team that's built to play from ahead, and we need to get back to who we are. We need to start playing from ahead. And they did that emphatically in this past game against Philadelphia.
Okay, let me ask you the question that was asked of Dak Prescott and others after the game last week, what does it say about this team that they were able to rise to the occasion with their backs against the wall?
It says that myself and other sports writers who were asking those questions are remarkably trite because of those phrases. I would say is the first thing it says. But secondly, I thought his answer was outstanding because he said, yeah, we've been able to do that. The issue is we're putting our backs against the wall. We're creating too many of these games for ourselves. To really be the team, to reach our potential that we want to be, we have to stop putting ourselves in this situation. We need to play better consistently so we don't look up every 3-4 weeks and say, this is a crossroads game. This is one we have to get because we've left ourselves no wiggle room or no margin for error.
In other words, play like the Patriots play. They never have their backs
very
to the
few
wall,
others
and
do
they
that,
always
yeah.
play with a lead. All right, how about the fact that the Cowboys win another game against a division opponent? They got a pretty good streak going here.
They do. This is 4 straight now against Philadelphia in that series. They're 3-0 in the division this year already. The first game back is a divisional game against New York after the bye week. They have now won 13 of their last 15 games in the division, which shows you why this team has won 3 division titles over the last 5 years. And you want to go even further, since Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, since their rookie seasons, Dallas is 16-5 in the division. Their ability to take care of the division is why they are always in the discussion to be a playoff team.
And how are you going to spend your bye week?
I will spend it relaxing.
There you go. People
And you?
well deserve relaxation.
I don't know about that, but it'll
Tough
be
stretch
taken.
ahead. The last 9 games or maybe 12 games of this season. We shall see. All right, our thanks to David Moore. And up next here on the Jason Garrett Show, how about we hear from one Kellen Moore?
This segment was brought to you by the Dallas Morning News. Nobody does sports like Sports Day. Your home for complete Dallas Cowboys coverage.
Welcome back to the Jason Garrett Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones inside the Academy Sports and Outdoor Studios at the Star in Frisco as the Cowboys enjoy their bye weekend. And since it is the bye week, it's the perfect chance to catch up with this team's offensive coordinator for the first time this season, one Kellen Moore.
Balance is an important word. I think first and foremost it means the ability to do multiple things. And so certainly we had a lot of success around the football and throwing it this year, and so hopefully continue those things. At the same time, it's an element of believing in what we do, being really good at certain things, and while still having the flexibility to be innovative and make adjustments throughout the season.
Pollard, the running back. Tavon Austin in motion, coming to the left. And they will pitch it right to Austin. He's got a first down. 15, cuts it to 10, running to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Tavon Austin.
Had a lot of success with read option plays, especially in those short yardage situations. Zeke and Dak putting the ball in those two guys' hands, a lot of good things happening. So really, we just brought a third element to it. Gave Dak an opportunity to create a pitch man, and he did a phenomenal job of it. He assesses one defender for the decision on whether to hand that ball off or not. He pulled it at that point, and then the next defender is his responsibility for the pitch man. And so Dak did a phenomenal job with it, and obviously Tavon did a phenomenal job on that play.
Dean leading 7-0. Two receivers come left. Prescott will hand it to Elliott. Starts left. Big hole to the 5. Touchdown, Elliott.
Yeah, phenomenal play. Really creating double teams with our offensive line, and those guys really driving off the ball. Started with Zach and Connor on the play side, creating a double team. The backside with Zach and LC, and then obviously having a lead fullback in there in Mays. He did a phenomenal job, and they left the safety, and Zeke did a phenomenal job giving ourselves an opportunity to get in the end zone. Ended up a hair short, but really, really good play.
Straight eye formation. Witten comes in motion from right to left. Play fake, boot to the right, and it's an easy lob to Jarwin in the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys!
Obviously, it's complementary football, and we were able to run the ball really well those first couple drives. We had some short fields, aided by the defense, creating some turnovers. We really ran a run play for a touchdown off the same look the previous drive, and so, kind of complementing that thing, we gave the same exact look and presentation, and Dak pulled it out, and Blake was wide open on the backside. Zeke is a special player, and he's really special because he's really unselfish and really cares about the team. And he'd been asking for weeks, hey, let me go out there and let me go block a defensive end, And so, sometimes you're a little hesitant on that. Zeke, let's just let you run the ball, and we'll let other people deal with that. But he was adamant on it, and it gave everyone a lot of juice. And it was probably one of the most important 0-yard gains for our team. He motioned out, simulated like he was going out to being a receiver alignment, then came back in motion, blocked the defensive end, got a phenomenal block there, and ultimately it only went for 0 yards, but I think it had a huge impact on our team.
Our thanks to Kellen Moore for joining us this week here on the Jason Garrett Show. And up next, the head coach rejoins us, and we take a look at this Dallas defense as we approach the midway point of this 2019 season. Welcome back to the Jason Garrett Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett here inside the Academy Sports and Outdoor Studios. We heard from Kellen Moore earlier in the show, and I want to ask you now, here we are at the bye week. One of the major decisions of the offseason was promoting Kellen Moore to the offensive coordinator. This is a guy, of course, as you know, he's called plays all his life. He probably was calling plays when he was 6 years old. And his dad, a high school coach in Prosser, Washington, I believe he called plays his junior and senior year in high school. This all comes very naturally to him, doesn't it?
Yeah, Kellen's a really smart guy, and he's a very smart football guy. And like I said, he grew up in football. And if you ask me, when you evaluate him as a player, what's line one? What's his greatest strength? It's his intelligence, it's his smarts, it's his poise, it's his composure, it's his natural leadership. Even though he's kind of a quieter guy, he just has this way about him. And all those qualities, really function well and serve an offensive coordinator well. And he's done a really good job. He doesn't have that much experience as a coach, but has handled everything really well. He's doing a great job leading the offensive staff. It's very much of a collaborative effort, but he's done a really good job leading those guys, doing an excellent job on game day, calling plays for us. Our team's responded really well to him.
So promoting him at age 30, we've seen it across the league. Sean McVay became a head coach at a very young age. Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. That was not a concern for you, his age, because of that experience he's had in the past.
Certainly, it's a question about experience and having not done this before and then doing it here at this level with this team. But he's been with us for a few years. He understands how we want to play football. He's got a great relationship with our quarterback. He's a very smart guy. He's a very poised guy. And, we just felt like he could learn fast. He did a good job as a quarterback coach last year, and it was a natural progression for him. It's a fast progression, but he has some veteran coaches around him. He's done a good job using those resources, done an excellent job up to this point.
DeMarcus Lawrence, another major decision in the offseason, a big contract for him, and he came through in a very big way in that game against Philadelphia. But even as much as that, I wonder his emergence over the last few years as a leader in that locker room. It's really been fun to see him grow.
Yeah, D-Law's got great energy. He's got great spirit. He loves people. He loves football. He loves practice, and he loves playing. And all that comes out. And if you think about the example you want to set as a leader, a guy who loves to practice, loves to play ball, and plays with his spirit and his relentless nature, that's what you want in your leaders. You can follow that guy. And, you know, sometimes defensive linemen in this league get pegged as he's a rusher. He's a pass rush guy. You know, he's a football player. He loves to rush the quarterback, sack the quarterback, affect the quarterback, but he also loves playing the run. He loves running to the football. And when your best players are doing that, setting that example day in and day out, that really has a positive impact on your team.
Got another pretty good football player playing inside, Malik Collins, who made some big plays in that game against the Eagles last year.
Yeah, Malik's playing really, really well. And if you look back on his career with us, he's always played well when he's been healthy. The only issue he's had in his career has been banged up a little bit at different times, but he's been a productive player since his rookie year. And he's someone that, again, has a great presence in the interior of our defensive line. He's always showing up in the running game. He's always around the quarterback. He makes a lot of big plays, a lot of little plays. He makes everybody else around him better because of how he plays. He's off to a great start.
And then special teams, it was all complimentary last week, but special teams, when you see Brett Maher once again, this time boot a 63-yard field goal, first person to hit, the first kicker to hit 3 field goals of 60 yards or more in his career. That's quite a weapon for a coach.
No question. And you know, what's amazing about Brett is he embraces those opportunities. I mean, he really wants to be the guy who's out there kicking those long kicks. And, you know, he made one for us last year. He's made a couple this year. And you said it, the only guy in the history of the National Football League, 3 60-plus yard field goals. So it was big time. That was a big drive for us. I thought Dak, Witt, the guys handled it really well before the half. But to give him an opportunity to kick that and then to drill it, really impressive.
All right, who's going to be the unsung star of this week? The answer when the Jason Garrett Show wraps up in just a moment.
Oh, we enjoy the time off, but we know that we're in season and we are professionals, so we gotta take care of our bodies. We gotta do what's right because we have a long stretch after this. So you can't. It's not vacation. It's just a bye week from playing the game.
You just got to stay locked in. Coach Garrett talked to us about, just staying mentally prepared. Even though we get some time off is good for our body, but you got to stay sharp, in the mind. So we just keep going and keep rolling and stay mentally prepared. And hopefully we have a good week of practice next week.
Final couple minutes here of the Jason Garrett Show, powered by Reliant Energy, and time for the Unsung Star of the Week, who is not unsung inside the hallways here and inside that locker room here at the Star in Frisco. And I am going with Britt Brown. He's been in the NFL 27 years. He's been here with the Cowboys for 23 years. And when you look at those guys that were able to play in that game a week ago, in fact, 5 starters who missed all or a lot of the game the week before, to get them ready to play. Britt Brown is my unsung star.
Yeah, he is not unsung at all. The players really have great love for our whole training staff. Jim Maurer, Britt, Greg, Hanson, all those guys do a fantastic job for us. But Britt's in charge of the rehab, and we've had some guys that are banged up over the course of the year, over the course of their careers, and they just have so much faith and trust in Britt, and they just follow his lead, and they come back quicker, faster, better, stronger than ever. And, we had 6 guys, big-time players, not play against the Jets last week, and we needed them to play this week. Our 2 tackles, Tyron Smith and OC Collins. We needed our receivers, Randall Cobb and Mari Cooper, to play. We needed Byron Jones to play in the ball game. And all those guys worked with Britt, rehab hard each and every day, got here early, stayed late, and by the end of the week they were practicing, and each of those guys had a significant impact in the ball game, and Britt deserves a ton of that credit.
All right, that does it for this edition of the Jason Garrett Show. Enjoy your bye weekend, Coach, and we appreciate you joining us this week, and we will see you again next week when the Cowboys take on those New York Football Giants.
The Jason Garrett Show was brought to you by Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.